Drowning in $80,000 of student debt felt impossible. But with relentless focus, side hustles, and smart repayment hacks, I crushed it all in just 3 years. From cutting expenses to earning extra cash online, I learned how consistency and creativity can turn debt into freedom. Debt has a way of following you everywhere, from your graduation ceremony to your first job, your first apartment, and even your first real paycheck. For me, that shadow took the form of $80,000 in student loans. It wasn't just a number. It was a constant reminder of the years I'd borrowed from my future. What I did have was a plan, relentless determination, and the willingness to sacrifice comfort for freedom. Here's exactly how I crushed $80,000 of student debt in just 3 years, using side hustles, frugal living, and a few smart repayment hacks. Point 10. Facing the debt, the wake-up call. When I graduated, I knew I had student loans, but I didn't fully grasp the scale of them until the first bill arrived. I owed $80,000 across multiple lenders, with interest rates ranging from 5% to 8%. The monthly payments added up to nearly $900, more than my rent at the time. That shock became my turning point. I could either complain about the system or take ownership of my financial future. I chose the latter. The first step was brutal honesty, laying out every loan, every balance, every rate, and every due date. It wasn't pretty, but clarity is power. Once I faced the total, I knew one thing. I was done living in fear of my own finances. Point 9. Living below my means. The frugality mindset. The secret to paying off debt fast isn't just making more money. It's keeping as much of it as possible. I made a commitment to live well below my means. I moved into a small studio apartment, sold my car, and started biking to work. My meals became simple, mostly home-cooked, affordable foods like rice, beans, eggs, and chicken. I stopped dining out, canceled streaming services, and found joy in minimalism. Every dollar I didn't spend was a dollar closer to freedom. I used to think frugality meant deprivation, but it's actually empowerment. It forces you to prioritize what truly matters. Point 8. The power of side hustles. Cutting expenses only took me so far. I needed to increase my income to make real progress. I turned weekends and evenings into opportunities to earn extra cash. I started freelancing online, writing blogs, managing social media accounts, and doing small graphic design jobs. Eventually, I added tutoring, dog walking, and delivering food through apps like DoorDash and Uber Eats. Every side hustle had one goal: kill the debt faster. I treated my debt like an emergency. Some months, I made an extra $1,500 to $2,000 from side work. None of it went toward lifestyle upgrades. Every penny went directly to my loans. Point 7. The debt avalanche strategy. When it came to repayment, I needed a method that made mathematical sense. That's where the debt avalanche came in. I listed my loans from highest interest rate to lowest and attacked the most expensive one first while paying the minimums on the rest. This saved me hundreds in interest over time. Every time I paid off one loan, I rolled that payment into the next, creating a snowball effect. Watching one account after another hit zero gave me a rush, proof that progress was possible. Point 6. Refinancing for lower interest. About a year into my repayment journey, I refinanced my student loans. My credit score had improved from consistent payments, and lenders were offering competitive rates. I consolidated several high-interest loans into one with a lower rate, dropping from an average of 7% to 4.2%. This single move saved me nearly $200 a month in interest, which I then used to make extra principal payments. Refinancing isn't right for everyone, but in my case, it shaved several months off my repayment timeline. Point 5. Budgeting like a hawk. I built my budget around my debt payments, not the other way around. I used a simple zero-based system. Every dollar I earned had a purpose before I spent it. I allocated money for rent, groceries, and essentials, but the largest chunk always went toward my loans. I checked my budget weekly, not monthly, so I could adjust quickly. I used free tools like Mint and an app to track progress. Seeing my balance drop became an addiction. I started treating debt payoff like a game. Every payment a level cleared, every milestone a victory. Point 4. Saying no to lifestyle inflation. One of the biggest traps people fall into is lifestyle inflation. spending more as they earn more. I refused to let that happen. When I got a promotion at work, I didn't upgrade my apartment or buy new gadgets. I pretended my raise never happened and continued living like a broke student. Every new dollar went straight toward my loans. My friends thought I was extreme, but I knew what they didn't. Freedom was worth more than luxury. For 3 years, I kept my expenses nearly identical, even as my income grew. That discipline made all the difference. Point 3. Finding motivation through milestones. Staying motivated for 3 years wasn't easy. There were months when progress felt invisible, and I wanted to quit. So I broke the mountain into smaller hills, $5,000 at a time. Each time I hit a new milestone, I celebrated in a small, meaningful way. A nice dinner, a day trip, or just a weekend off from side hustles. I also created visual reminders, a whiteboard chart where I shaded in sections as the balance dropped. Watching the color fill up became addictive. Progress is fuel, you just need to find a way to see it. Point 2. Building financial literacy. Along the way as I paid off my loans, I realized something powerful. I wasn't just eliminating debt, I was learning to master money. I devoured personal finance books, podcasts, and YouTube channels. I learned about investing, compound interest, and financial independence. I began to see debt freedom not as the finish line, but as the starting point for building wealth. By the time I made my final loan payment, I wasn't just debt-free. I was financially educated, disciplined, and confident in managing my future income. That knowledge was the true reward of the journey. Point 1. The final payment and what came after. I'll never forget the day I made my last payment. It was a simple click, submit, but the feeling was indescribable. For the first time since college, I owed nothing to anyone. I wasn't rich, but I was free. The weight that had followed me for years was gone. I didn't rush to celebrate with a luxury purchase. Instead, I opened an investment account and redirected the same payment amount into savings. The habits that got me debt-free became the habits that built my wealth. Freedom wasn't the end. It was the beginning of a new chapter. Paying off $80,000 in student loans in 3 years wasn't easy. It required sacrifice, long nights, and countless no's to things I wanted in the moment. But every choice I made was an investment in my future. Side hustles gave me the income. Frugality gave me the discipline. Repayment strategies gave me the direction. Most people think debt freedom is about math, but it's really about mindset. The truth is, anyone can do what I did if they're willing to prioritize freedom over comfort. It's not about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep, how hard you're willing to fight, and how deeply you want your life back. I started this journey buried in debt and finished it debt-free, confident, and unstoppable. Paying off $80,000 wasn't about luck. It was strategy and sacrifice. Every dollar counted, every hustle mattered. You can do it too. Start now, stay disciplined, and make your debt payoff journey the foundation of your financial freedom.